It has definitely been a week. I was planning on doing a lot of writing this weekend, actually pumping out some reviews, getting some videos written, getting some server content written. I ended up writing one video, which was actually the one that went live yesterday. It was the review of the Quum ZK2, the keyboard with the touchscreen in it.
Yeah.
Cool hardware. Terrible software. If you haven't seen the video, that kind of sums it up. It's why you can't invest all of your money into hardware. You need to put some into infrastructure and software when you release a product. But go watch the video. It's a good one. Anyway, about midway through the day, I'm like, I had set up my Starlink dish for a secondary internet connection, and just kind of temporarily set it up where I wanted it on the stand that it comes with, and went, I'll just run the cable, sling it off the side of the roof, and we'll run it permanently later. Well, it got to be about 10 o'clock. I decided I'm going to go ahead and just permanently run the cable real quick. And the cable was the easy part. Drilled through the wall, got the cable ran, everything's peachy. Got a different mount installed, so it's permanently bolted to the roof now, cocked all the seams and everything, and got perfect signal. Went to set it up real quick on my router, which is a Unify UDM Pro, and went to reboot the router, and the router refused to come back up. Which is kind of a problem, because I was looking at having 2 ISPs, and now I had 0 ISPs. So I got to spend all day Saturday rebuilding my router and my Unify network from scratch, because my last backup was almost 2 years ago. Before I had segmented and VLANed off my network, before I had managed all my switches, before I had gone through a lot of the things that I do rely on around here as far as infrastructure and logical network switching goes, all gone.
Gotta do it all again from scratch.
So the MikroTiks were configured, but they were configured for VLANs that no longer existed. And so I had to redo all of my routing tables and VLAN configs and gateways. And of course, I'd forgotten half of how I had done it. So I had to forensically dive into the MikroTik switches to pull out what configs that I could. Finally got it all working, but that took literally the rest of the day Friday, and then about half the day on Sunday I also spent on that, getting a couple things fixed. And I'd been having some intermittent issues with the UDM Pro, where my internet's been just dropping and kicking back up, and then dropping and kicking back up. And I thought all along this was a problem with my primary ISP. Well, today it kicked down and didn't fail over, and it said Starlink was down at the same time, which I highly doubt.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm wondering if the hardware, if some of the switching is going wrong with my UDM. I'm not sure, but it's fully on the new firmware. It's all on new software. I made sure everything was updated when I went through everything, and now I'm having the exact same problem, but it's still not failing over. So a couple of days of spinning my wheels, getting things redone that I had already done, and now I'm back in the same place, going
Now, did you test the Starlink by itself though ahead of time, just to see what kind of signal you're getting?
Oh yeah,
okay.
No, we got perfect signal.
Okay.
Everything's looking great. I'm actually getting slightly better speeds than you were, than we had talked about. I'm getting upwards of about 100 megs down and about 25 to 30 up. So pretty reasonable for what it is, and latency is right where I would expect for a satellite connection. So yeah. It's fine, and in fact I could unplug that and plug it into my laptop, and I had internet, but it's not being routed for some reason. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Gearling's in the chat chiming in. Oopsie motivates me to do better about actually doing the monthly checkup checklist that I have in my calendar when it comes up. Yeah, I had similar checklists, and I'd always gone, it's working fine. I configured the backups. Of course they're running. I think what happened was I was backing up to a folder on one of my NAS servers, although I got the Storinator recently, and I've been slowly migrating my storage over to that Storinator, and I'm probably going to have a video when it's all done about some new configs that I'm running. But I'm working on making sure it's being transitioned the right way and all my data comes over properly and everything else, while also maintaining backups to my backup server. I think some folder somewhere along the way got lost because I had a bunch of documentation for my network. That was all gone. And in that folder was also the backups for my UDM configuration, and that was all gone. Oh. So, and I couldn't find it. I dug and dug, couldn't find it. Yeah. So, I've had better weeks. So, but on my desk right now, I figured I might as well just build myself a pfSense box. I've been putting it off for years. I like pfSense. It runs just fine. It's just one more thing that I had to manage where I already have a Ubiquiti network, so might as well just keep everything in the infrastructure and, 2 or 3 clicks and you're done, instead of having to manage a firewall. So I was trying to take the easy way out, but I think I'm going to at least build the pfSense box just for when I need to switch it over.